up on Cronkite News, vaccines have recently been approved for kids as young as 6 months. We take a look at what one group is doing to make it more accessible.
Also, we take a look at a bill that expands health care for veterans and one Arizona legislator's appearance in the January 6th committee hearing.
Plus, we examine what some cities across the valley are asking residents to do in order to save water.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Nikita Chaturvedi.
And I'm Ian Sachs. Thank you for joining us. COVID numbers in Arizona continue to remain high, and officials say that the level of positive tests is the highest since January. On Wednesday, officials reported over 15,000 new cases and 60 new deaths. Even though cases are still below winter levels, we might not be seeing the full picture. Many people are using at-home tests and may not be reporting positive results to their local health departments. This rise in cases is likely driven by two subvariants of the virus, BA4 and BA5. Arizona's overall pandemic death rate since 2020 is the third highest nationwide.
Last month, COVID-19 vaccines finally became available for children as young as 6 months old. Since then, one Arizona group has been working to make sure hard-hit communities and people of color have easy access to the shots. Cronkite News health reporter Milan Andrade has more on what the community initiative is doing here in Phoenix.
The One Community Initiative is a partnership between Equality Health and the Arizona Foundation, two groups that have been working to help fight COVID-19 in underserved communities. After the FDA authorized vaccines for infants and preschoolers, the group has been holding events in parks across Phoenix.
We have made it easy for people to find a location near their neighborhood. We took a meet me where I am approach and brought the testing and vaccine to the people. Eliminated language barriers, cultural barriers, access barriers, and focusing on education, focusing on access, and focusing on collaboration.
Since the pandemic started, many have helped the initiative distribute vaccines, but also free N95 masks and at-home COVID tests. Among them are Earl and Mary Rose Wilcox, a former Maricopa County supervisor.
Grant Park is the heart of the inner city. My husband, Earl Wilcox, and I have the honor of running it with the city. It's a joint partnership. And we had COVID shots here. First, we started out with drive-by COVID shots because nobody wanted to talk to anybody. They were all afraid. And we did about 200.
Latest Arizona numbers show that over 12 million vaccine doses have been administered, and over 62% of Arizonans are fully vaccinated. In Phoenix, Milan Andrade, Cronkite News.
For more information on upcoming vaccination events, visit onecommunityaz.com.
We're seeing more legal maneuvering over abortion after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Cronkite News reporter Rachel Fortunato is in the newsroom with the latest.
Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich has filed a motion in Superior Court to reinstate a 1901 ban on abortion. Brnovich says he is looking for consistency after the Supreme Court overturned the landmark decision that had legalized abortion across the U.S. In a press release, Brnovich stated, "We believe this is the best and most accurate state of the law. We know this is an important issue to so many Arizonans, and our hope is that the court will provide clarity and uniformity for our state." Arizona's abortion law has been in flux since the Supreme Court ruling. A newer 15-week abortion ban is set to take effect in September. Some believe that law takes precedent over the older ban. Brittany Fontenot, the president of Planned Parenthood Arizona, called the filing, quote, "an attempt to play politics with people's lives," and said the group would fight back. In the newsroom, Rachel Fortunato, Cronkite News.
Next, we head to Washington, D.C. to take a look at a new bill to expand veteran health care.
Millions of veterans could soon see some relief. The House of Representatives recently passed a bill that would expand health care and other benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits. Burn pits are usually operated on or near military bases, and the toxins they release can give service members long and short-term medical conditions. One veteran organization found 86% of its members who served in Iraq and Afghanistan were exposed to burn pits. Arizona Representative Tom O'Halloran was among the 342 legislators to vote for the bill, and he said he was proud to vote for the long overdue bill that provides veterans with the help they need. It now goes to the Senate for final passage. Representative Debbie Lesko played a role in the most recent January 6 committee hearings. In the hearing, the committee heard that former President Donald Trump was excited about the prospect of thousands gathering in his name to protest the election. But in a newly revealed recording from the day before, the uprising representative Lesko worried about the safety of lawmakers.
I also asked leadership to come up with a safety plan for members. I'm actually very concerned about this because we have who knows how many hundreds of thousands of people coming here. We have Antifa. We also have, quite honestly, Trump supporters who actually believe that we are going to overturn the election. And when that doesn't happen, most likely will not happen, they are going to go nuts.
Despite her comments in the recording, which was made January 5th of 2020, Lesko ultimately voted to toss out Pennsylvania and Arizona's electoral votes and joined a lawsuit in Texas to throw out other electors as well. In a statement released yesterday, Lesko said the only thing the recording proves is what she has been saying since day one, which is, why wasn't U.S. Capitol secured on January 6th? Social Security recipients could soon see a jump on their checks. According to one estimate, seniors could get more than 10% in additional money every month, or about $175. This increase is based on inflation measures from the Social Security Administration. The new payments could come as soon as the fall and could be more or less depending on what inflation does. That's it for Capitol News today. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Daisy Gonzalez-Perez, Cronkite News.
After the break, we take a look at the efforts being made across the valley to conserve water and how cities are getting residents involved as well.
And we'll take a look at how one national park is managing their land.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything. History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is
mystery. I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'ma kick down every single door. I'ma show you what you never ever seen before. So control you, I'ma show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Look at me now.
Fight the power.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Something we may not think about when visiting national parks or forests is how the land is managed and cared for. The Tonto National Forest is updating their land management practices. The last time it was updated was 1985. Since then, the forest has become one of the most heavily used national forests in the country. Their new management plan focuses on wildlife dangers, recreation, volunteers, and other aspects of the forest that might affect policy.
Cities throughout Arizona work to do their part. I spoke to several city officials to see how Phoenix is preparing. The Colorado River is one of several sources of water for Arizona. Despite many Arizona cities' efforts to spread water conservation awareness, significant progress to save water has not been made.
We are looking at big, dramatic cuts in Colorado River supplies.
The city of Phoenix, Scottsdale, Chandler, and Mesa have declared Stage 1 water alerts to increase conservation efforts among residents.
It's really important that our customers understand that really doubling down on their conservation efforts, on their efficiency efforts, is really critical. And giving them the tools and the information available to do that is what we're really trying to do at this point.
Last August, Scottsdale asked residents to use 5% less water, but only managed to meet the target goal halfway since May of this year. So far, Valley cities have not issued sanctions to residents, and private water providers have not increased rates for customers.
It's great that the city has reduced its own water demand so much, but that doesn't go very far, right? When the residents aren't also reducing their water use.
As the drought continues, residents could see changes up ahead.
Stage 2 in our drought management plan opens the possibility of a drought surcharge. It's not something that we are considering today, but it is a tool in the toolbox that's available to us. So it's possible.
One way to help is to reduce water consumption outside of the home. Fixing a leaky irrigation system and switching to an Arizona-friendly landscape are options.
What we'll see naturally is, even though that small amount's in the house, as we add that up over our 1.7 million customers, that will add up. You know, we have about 430,000 accounts, and so if everybody used a little bit less, we would see a significant amount of savings.
Municipal water conservation, super important to help our cities, our providers have enough water to deliver to the customers in the service area, but that won't address this big issue of shortage on the Colorado River, which is a long-term issue.
And while every little bit helps, Arizonans are encouraged to make permanent changes. And speaking of some much needed rain, well, Arizona will be getting some. We'll see a storm pass through from the south and move clockwise, but we'll still be seeing those high temperatures, especially for our friends in southwest Arizona and southeast California. But if you're looking to escape the heat, well, San Diego might be a nice option with 72-degree temperatures. And our friends in Phoenix, 112, Tucson, 105-degree temperatures, and up in the high country, Flagstaff with 79 degrees. Taking a look at this evening, we'll see partly cloudy skies from 6 to 7 with a 15% chance of rain. And the rest of the night, a slight decline in temperatures. And at 10 p.m., we'll see 96 degrees. Taking a look at this weekend, Friday, we'll have 20% chance of rain with some clouds and 113-degree weather. Some light clouds for Saturday and Sunday with a 20% chance of rain as well. And the rest of the week, we'll see those clouds, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday, with that 20% chance of rain and 109 and 106 weather. And Friday with 110 degrees. Make sure that if you see a monsoon coming, you pull over, turn off those lights, and wait for that storm to pass on through. From the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Jessica Herrera.
I'm Ethan Ryder. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Free agent DeAndre Ayton took his biggest step yet towards leaving the Suns. We'll tell you which team he's talking to next.
Ain't no time for imitation, ain't no time for playing. I'm just gonna do me.
Know what I'm saying?
Try to steer the trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Damn, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work. It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ethan Ryder. Restricted free agent DeAndre Ayton has reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $133 million maximum offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers. Once Ayton signs, the Suns have 48 hours to match the contract if they want to keep their former first overall pick. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, it's the largest offer sheet in NBA history. Wojnarowski also reported that the Suns are expected to match the offer sheet instead of negotiating a sign and trade with Indiana. Negotiations on a contract extension between the Suns and Ayton reportedly broke down before last season because the Suns did not want to give Ayton a max offer of their own. Mercury star Brittany Griner appeared in court outside Moscow today as her trial in Russia resumed. The court heard witness testimony in support of Griner from the director of UMMC Ekaterinburg, the Russian basketball team that Griner played for. Griner pled guilty a week ago to charges of bringing a small amount of hashish oil into the country, but her imprisonment is widely considered politically motivated, and the U.S. State Department maintains that Griner is wrongfully detained. Russian officials said that no prisoner exchanges can be discussed until a verdict is reached in Griner's trial, which is set to resume tomorrow. Herm Edwards is high on the list of college football coaches on the hot seat, according to several rankings. Multiple players hit the transfer portal this offseason, and Edwards lost 4 assistant coaches amid the recruiting scandal that's still under investigation. But as Cronkite News reporter Connor Cox tells us, players are still very optimistic about the team's chances this fall.
The Sun Devils say, don't count them out. Several players spoke to the media yesterday regarding their summer workouts as well as their views on the upcoming season. Veterans and newcomers alike said they dealt with the adversity of this past offseason the best they could. And although they lost some good players, the roster and bond runs deep.
Having a rotation keeps people fresh, right? No one person needs to be taking 50 snaps a game, because then when you get to December, you can't play in the Rose Bowl. So what's the point, right? People are just getting hurt. We have all these guys on the roster anyway, and they can all play. So why not play?
I just feel like the thing that has remained like on the incline since I've got here is the mesh of the team, how we come together, how we love each other, how we fit together. Like our culture here has been on the climb. No matter what outside noise we've ever had, the culture and mindset we have here is always, since I've been here at least, I've seen on the incline.
ASU will have to rely on many new faces this season. For example, on defense, the only returning starter on the defensive line is Michael Mathis. In Tempe, Connor Cox, Cronkite News.
Sticking with Sun Devil football, an ASU fullback could join the likes of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Brock Lesnar, and Rob Gronkowski in making the jump from the gridiron to the WWE ring. Cronkite News reporter Ian Sachs details how Case Hatch's new NIL deal with the WWE could make his wrestling dreams a reality.
Case Hatch is one of 15 college athletes named to the WWE's Next in Line class, the company's name, image, and likeness program. The Gilbert native, who has played on both sides of the football for the Sun Devils, is one of 2 ASU athletes to sign the 5-figure deal with WWE, along with wrestling standout Colton Schultz.
I am so grateful for this opportunity. I'm excited to get things going. I'm excited to learn as much as possible. And I want to keep this door as wide open as possible, right? I love learning about business strategy and branding. And the WWE has those 2 things locked down, right? They can brand anyone. Their branding skills are insane.
As part of the deal, Hatch has to promote WWE on social media. Someone who was not a big pro wrestling fan growing up, the Perry High School alum has begun developing a persona for the ring and has even received the nickname the American Bad Boy from his teammates.
Put me in front of people. I love to talk. I love to speak up. I love to call people out. So I think it'd be a really good fit. Their energy, and that's just kind of like what I'm about. Like I love the energy that they bring, that lifestyle of just like performing Like, you're still an athlete, but now you're kind of an actor, which is awesome.
Hatch's NIL deal with WWE, a multi-million-dollar company, has inspired its teammates to seek bigger deals for themselves too. For example, running back Daniel Nagata, who already has deals with Burrito Express and Snapchat, reached out to Tempur-Pedic.
Hatch kind of inspired me to go bigger, go talk to bigger deals, don't be scared to go reach out to companies. It's only a text message or email, so it's not too much.
On top of the compensation Hatch receives from WWE, he also has access to the company's state-of-the-art performance center in Orlando and receives training in brand building, communications, event promotion, and community relations. In Tempe, Ian Sachs, Cronkite News.
The NBA Summer League has proven beneficial for one Arizona product. Jabari Walker, who played at AZ Compass Prep in Chandler, signed a contract with the Portland Trailblazers. The second-round draft pick is averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds in his first 3 Summer League games. By officially signing with the Blazers, he now has the chance to play alongside All-Star Damian Lillard, with whom Walker feels he can play well with.
I'm in a good position because I'm not a guy that needs the ball a lot, and I know I'm playing with Dame and these guys I can fit right in. I'm a cutter. I talk about the role and then expanding that role as stress comes. So I feel like I'm in a good ground to play with those stars right away.
Report back to you, Nikita.
Take a look at condors and what's being done to save these critically endangered birds.
Ain't no time for imitation, ain't no time for playing. I'm just gonna do me.
You know what I'm saying?
Try to stay out of trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Damn, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
In the early 1980s, there were fewer than 25 California condors in the world. The remaining birds were brought into captivity as part of the California Condor Recovery Program in hopes of preserving the critically endangered species. Cronkite News reporter Joey Vaca tells us how the big birds are doing under this protection program.
When Michael Clark started as a condor keeper at the LA Zoo in 1989, the bird's population was in the 30s. Now, with a population of over 500 individuals in captivity and the wild, some call the California condor a conservation success story.
I guess you could say we've saved it from long-term extinction because we have a captive protected population that can produce more birds.
The work is far from over. Over the years, the focus has shifted from captive breeding to wild releases, and not just in California.
We're talking about more release sites in other states where condor, evidence has been found, fossil evidence and stuff like that.
Part of the condor's natural habitat extends into northern Arizona and southern Utah. And as the Arizona Game and Fish Department's Condor Program Coordinator Austin Teague points out, State 48 is just as good a habitat now as ever before.
That area up there where they're released is very remote, has good cliff faces for nesting, and also has large populations of deer and for for food.
But even with numbers rising, Clark points out that the condors aren't out of the woods yet.
If you want to talk about the real story of what's going on and why it's not like as rosy as it could be, you have to talk about what's holding us back.
Poisoning from lead ammunition and animal carcasses poses a major threat to the condors. So much so that if today's captive breeding efforts were to stop, the species would go extinct in 20 years. With the push against lead ammunition stronger than ever before, Clark and his fellow keeper of nearly 30 years hope that someday soon, the population can thrive without the looming threat of poison.
I want to just be driving home from work and see condors independently of my work.
Yeah.
You know, drive home and I'm going, hey, check it out. There's
hey,
some
look,
birds.
There's a bird. No tag.
Remember when we used to work with those?
In Los Angeles, Joey Vaca, Cronkite News.
David and Clark said right now 50% of known condor mortality is caused by lead poisoning. Here in Arizona, the Arizona Game and Fish Department is active in promoting non-lead ammunition for hunters.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.